I feel the speed, the thrill, yeah. High octane drama can't get off fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. Yeah. Every lap a story, every driver's dream. On NFR, racing's the supreme. Checkered flags waving, champions arise. NFR brings the glory to our eyes. NFR, where the legends are born. Speeding past the limits, engines reborn. In the fast lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. NFR with the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. You move to NFR, feel the speed. You move to NFR, it's time to go. Feel the speed, let it flow. Racing hearts, watch them glow. Turn it up, start the show. NFR, feel the heat. Fast and fierce, never beat. Engines roar, can't stay off seats. Catch the thrill, it's so sweet. NFR, drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap. Feel the speed, the thrill, yeah. High octane drama can't get off fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, it's time to go. Feel the speed, let it flow. Racing hearts, watch them glow. Turn it up, start the show. NFR, feel the heat. Fast and fierce, never beat. Engines roar, can't stay off seats. Catch the thrill, it's so sweet. NFR, drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR.
chasing dreams under pressure, lost in the crowd. Corner two shots spun out wide and free. Championships slip like sand into the sea. On the chicane, caught him slow on the twist. A second's hesitation, victory missed. Reading spot, he slid off the track. Fans gasping as the sky turned black. Pressure breakdown, Lando running wild. Back speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, Lando running wild. Max speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Mechanics fumbling in the pit lane's glare. Leaderboard slipping like oil on the floor. Lando's hopes falling, can't take anymore. Max takes the lead with a grin so bright. Lando's in shadows, can't find the light. Wheel to wheel, but he's losing grip. Champions rise as dreams start to slip. One last race, the engines scream, hoping for a miracle, grasping at the dream. Final lap and there's no more to give. Lessons in the losses, that's how we live. Pressure breakdown and a running wild. Max speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, Lando running wild. Max speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear.
In the quiet lanes of Silverstone town, folks are whispering about a boy falling down. Got a seat from his daddy, money's the king. Driving that Williams ain't like riding free. Tires spin, engines roar, but the podium's far. His wheels hit the gravel, now there's damage to the car. Got the world at his feet, yet he fumbles the lead. His dreams race away, but he's not in the speed. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Now he's got his own team with a famous name. Aston Martin's the brand, but it's still the same shame. Every corner, every turn, the crashes unfold. Dreams wrapped in carbon fiber, truth left untold. Paddock folks shake their heads with a sigh as the green car spins and the hopes run dry. No matter the funds, it's a harsh game of pain. $1 million toys can't shelter the rain. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all chance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill.
They roared into 24 engines on fire. Max and his Red Bull racing with desire. Sergio followed, but he stumbled and trailed. In the season's first half, their victories hailed. Max was a lion on tracks burned gold, but halfway through the season, the car grew cold. Perez Tony struggling in his quest. Lance in his own right outdid him at best. Falling wings down from the skies, Red Bull sinking as the season flies. Max fights to keep his lid alive, while Sergio stumbles, just survives. That checkered flag once seemed a sure thing, but fortunes change fast in the racing ring. Mechanical troubles and the handling wrong. The champions yesterday now sing a broken song. Max is holding on by a thin red line, each turn a battle and every lap a time. Perez in shadows where hopes lay slain, every pit stop a prayer for racing's gain. Falling wings down from the skies, Red Bull sinking as the season flies. Max fights to keep his lid alive, while Sergio stumbles, just survives. Down from the skies, Red Bull sinking as the season flies. Max fights to keep his lid alive, while Sergio stumbles, just survives. Just survives. Like a shooting star, the engines roar, the tires scream. Fast as lightning, it's the dream. Speed and drama, every turn on NFR, the rubber burns. Feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR calls to play on NFR every race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, holy friend. Not Fernando calls to play on NFR race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, holy friend. Deaf Queen, the top supporter scene, in the crowd where speed is keen. NFR, the place to be, join the race, watch and see.
feel the speed, the thrill. High octane drama can't get off fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On an drama can't get off fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On an SR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every FR, it's time to go.
In the quiet lanes of Silverstone town, folks are whispering about a boy falling down. Got a seat from his daddy, money's the king. Driving that Williams ain't like riding free. Tires spin, engines roar, but the podium's far. His wheels hit the gravel, now there's damage to the car. Got the world at his feet, yet he fumbles the lead. His dreams race away, but he's not in the speed. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Now he's got his own team with a famous name. Aston Martin's the brand, but it's still the same shame. Every corner, every turn, the crashes unfold. Dreams wrapped in carbon fiber, truth left untold. Paddock folks shake their heads with a sigh as the green car spins and the hopes run dry. No matter the funds, it's a harsh game of pain. $1 million toys can't shelter the rain. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill.
They roared into 24, engines on fire. Max and his Red Bull racing with desire. Sergio followed, but he stumbled and trailed. In the season's first half, their victories held. Max was a lion on tracks burned gold, but halfway through the season, the car grew cold. Perez Tony struggling in his quest. Lance in his own right outdid him at best. Falling wings down from the skies, Red Bull sinking as the season flies. Max fights to keep his lid alive, while Sergio stumbles, just survive. That checkered flag once seemed a sure thing, but fortunes change fast in the racing ring. Mechanical troubles and the handling wrong. The champions yesterday now sing a broken song.
by a thin red line, each turn a battle and every lap a time. Perez in shadows where hopes lay slain, every pit stop a prayer for racing's gain. Falling wings down from the skies, Red Bull sinking as the season flies. Max fights to keep his lid alive while Sergio stumbles, just survives. From the skies, Red Bull sinking as the season flies. Max fights to keep his lid alive while Sergio stumbles, just survives. Just survives.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to NFR. And welcome back to the League V League Championship for the final time in Season 1. It's round 12. We're finishing off the season in Japan. And I may have predicted this yesterday. If you're going to have a finale in Japan, why not do it in the rain? Of course, if anyone in the comment section is in contact with any of the drivers, or if any of the drivers are listening, let me know how's this rain going to affect the rest of the evening. Is qualifying maybe going to dry up towards the end, or are we going to have a wet race as well? Of course, Suzuka already a very challenging circuit. Rain makes it that much more difficult. Is that car out on slicks? I think that car is out on slicks. Everyone's on slicks. I think everyone might try and have one run on the slicks, see if the track is manageable. Ubuntu asking me for the poll. Should have asked me before the race, I forgot. Let me see if I can try and set that up. The problem with me setting that up is I'm not a very good multitasker, so if I go quiet for a few seconds. Try and get that up for you as quick as possible. So of course we're looking at Acid Milk. I think he was the first driver out of the pits. Skull also out on a lap. All of the cars on out laps are on that slick tyre, believing they can still get a better lap time on that slick than they can get on an intermediate. That looks like Skull going slowly. See, I've added this poll in late, so the drivers, let's just say I did this intentionally, so the drivers can't vote. It's got to come down to the fans. There we go, I can try and focus on the racing again. I would be a terrible, terrible live streamer. Well, I am live streaming, so maybe I am a terrible live streamer. You tell me. Virus. This is the, I was going to say kick salver, but it is not. It's just a little green tag next to his name, and I can be excused for thinking that's a kick salver. I'll say it every race, I've said it every round, and I'll continue to say it. That is a kick salver inspired livery. Welcome to everyone in the comment section. Good to have you here. Spikes, Ubuntu, Death Queen, Akmagozi. Welcome to Blade. Also had Skull in here earlier. Harsh Cartoon sets the first lap of the night. It's a 39.5. Let's just go on board. Have a look at that rain. There's definitely raindrops falling, but how severe is it? Of course, if the rain were to get worse as the session progresses, well, then we're going to have a serious anticlimax. Nobody's going to be able to improve on these initial runs if the track gets any worse. And maybe, just maybe, you were one of the first cars to cross the line on the slick. Might just have a good result. We'll find out soon enough. This is now, I'm just trying to get confirmation, but I'm a little bit confused. Seems I've encountered a glitch in all the races I've commentated on. I don't think I've seen this one yet. You can see on the left of the screen on the timing sheet, it appears the entire field is on the soft compound. We're riding on board with Virus, and you can clearly see that is not the soft compound, it's on the inter. So, the game is giving us incorrect tyre information. Hopefully that does not carry over into the race. Despite saying there will be rain for the race, but apparently less than this. Let's have a look. Where is Top Gun? He just went to the top of the field. And he is on the red band tyre. Mr. Rem goes quicker. Virus goes quickest on the intermediate. Why the tyre didn't register until he went over the line. Very strange. The Virus goes over the line on the intermediate tyre, and that shows there's no use for that soft. The track has gone over into intermediate territory. Everybody thought they'd have a go. The rain looked pretty light. Thought they'd have a try. Clearly after that one lap by Virus, everybody will now be aware that the intermediate is definitely the tyre to be on. Stresso, he's leaving the pits. Again, it just seems like the entire field. There we go, there's another one. France. You can see on the timing sheet, soft tyres, 0 laps. It's clearly not on the soft tyre, it's on the intermediate. Going to assume this is a special livery. Just a change in livery here for the end. Let's see if we can find, yes, definitely a special livery from the LSA team. Just adding gold to the livery, obviously to celebrate their championship win. Of course, if the drivers are listening, if the admin are listening, when you guys do stuff like that, when you're wearing special helmets, when you're going to be donning a special livery, let me know so that I can mention it. So I can mention it on the stream so you can get some broadcast time. You guys put some effort into these liveries. Of course, the F1 game can be a little limiting in your creativity. Sometimes you find the perfect livery and then you find that someone in your team doesn't have that livery. Can't even find a way of purchasing that livery, so you have to scrap that. Of course, this is the final round in what's been a really successful Season 1 of the League B League Championship. Of course, the finale tonight. After this, Tuesday night's going to become a quiet night, unless we can find some racing. Of course, hopefully we will see a return of this league. Has proved quite popular. There's just 14 drivers in the lobby this time round. That is to be expected. Try it at the end of a season. Now we have France has gone over the line quickest. Also on a set of intermediate runners, so all the riders that went out on soft, it was really a waste of a run. A little bit of a waste of time. Gonna have one run left to do on this damp circuit, and if that prediction was correct, then we will be getting some sort of rain in the race. Apparently it is light. I don't know if it's going to be lighter than this. I don't think it gets much lighter than this. Maybe it's just going to be for a very short stint in the race, right at the end or right in the beginning. It can be quite frustrating when that happens. You start off on that wet tire and then the track starts to dry out almost immediately. And of course, worst case scenario, it gets wet enough for the blue wall tires. Lamb Royale sets the quickest lap, 36.0. This is what the qualifying session is going to look like. Drivers are just going to be getting quicker and quicker. The lap times are just going to be coming down and down with each and every lap. Drivers find their footing in these conditions. They're all quick the more laps they do in these conditions. Just get a little bit more confident, start to throw the car in a little quicker. First lap or two, they might just be looking for the limit. Once they know where all those limits are, try and sew the best lap together. Some of those intermediate runners, they'll be on several laps. Since Virus has done 4 laps on those tyres, France has done 2 laps on those tyres. So drivers obviously with a bit of extra fuel in the car, doing multiple laps. Qualifying works very differently in wet conditions. We're riding now with Andre, who's done several laps on those slick tyres. He's going around for another one. I think that will be 5 laps on the soft compound. This is Levy, now on a set of intermediate tyres. He had his first run was a 137.5. It's good enough for P6 at the moment. He's the fastest of the soft tyre runners. All the drivers ahead of him now on the intermediate tyre. Skull in P5, Virus P4, Smurf P3, Lamoyal P2, and France has taken back his provisional pole position. Levy on an outlap. Virus. It's the rim. More and more drivers need to get out there. We've still got 2 drivers in the pits with no lap time whatsoever. One is Tresso, one is Cooper. We're waiting for lap times from those drivers. Tozy will have a lot more than that in him. That lap's a 144.2, so that's not a representative lap. Obviously backed off at some stage. Wash Cartoon, P11, Acid Milk, P10. Don't give yourself too much work here in Suzuka coming through the field. Very tricky race circuit. Not as wide as some of the more modern day circuits. Suzuka's been around for a very long time. Of course, the 2 most famous championship deciders at this circuit happened in 1989 and 1990, involving the very 2 same drivers, just with mirrored fortunes. Going into the finale in 1989 for the championship, Prost led his teammate Ayrton Senna by 1 point. And as Ayrton Senna was going to take the lead with just a few laps to go, he got nudged by Prost. Both cars came to a standstill, and that was the end of the day for McLaren. But since Prost led the championship by a point, and him and his championship contender retired, well, that meant he went on to win the championship by a point. So the very next year, in Suzuka, final race, similar scenario. This time Ayrton Senna was in P2, Alain Prost was in P1 in pole position, and once they arrived at turn 1, well, Ayrton Senna, he failed to turn. Went straight into the side of Prost. They both landed up in the gravel. Turn 1, lap 1. That was the end of that. I say it was mirrored because this time round Senna led the championship by a point, so therefore went on to win the championship. Ubuntu saying the volume was down. He was on a call. What has he missed? Of course, you saw at the beginning of the session, you still see it now, it's raining. Drivers went out on a first stint, thought they could attempt this track on the soft tyre. Then one driver went out on the intermediate tyre, went straight to the top of the field. I think that was Spikes. Then the rest of the field has come into the pits and followed suit, put on a set of intermediate tyres. It's definitely the quicker option. Andre, he hasn't done a lap on the intermediate tyre just yet. Oh, he seems to be on the wrong tyre. Yesterday he qualified on the inter. Today he's qualifying on the soft. Interesting strategy. Top Gun in P10, 133, that's a 139.1. Oh, how he'd love a 133. France has retired. Have a caution in Sector 3. I think if that's a caution in Sector 3, that suggests that wasn't a retirement in the pit lane, and rather it was a retirement on track. Let me know if anyone's in contact with France. Did he have an incident, or was that a voluntary retirement? Spikes is not driving. Indeed, he's in the comment section. I'm very confused. Guys can't hassle me too much. Commentate 3 nights in a row and the names get confusing. France, he's retired from the session, but he is the quickest man in the field, so if the checkered flag were to fall at this very moment, he will start from pole position, but the checkered flag has not fallen. There's still 50 seconds. Lam Royale P2, Acid Milk P3, Levy P4. Levy sitting in the pits, he's not going to be able to get out. That's the best position he can hope for. We're hoping nobody's able to improve behind him. Smurf, one of the drivers behind Levy, that could improve. Of course, the rain looks a little lighter than it did at the beginning of the session. That means the track could be a little better. It could have the last man going over the line gaining the biggest advantage. Wasn't Sparks then? Who was I referring to at the top of the field? It may have been Skull. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who went to the top of the field briefly. Somebody ventured out on the intermediate first and everybody followed. Yes, they've been. Give him hell. Why aren't you driving? The flag has fallen, so France looks like he's going to keep that time, but Virus still out on track. Is he pushing away? Has he given up on the lap? Slavassid Milk out on circuit. He's approaching the spoon curve as we speak. It's called spoon because when you think the corner's over, it's not quite over. Not so straight back straight. You used to have to lift through here, not anymore. Nice fly through there, stuck to the ground. Oh, and he's missed the chicane completely. Fantastic shortcut though. That's not going to get you pole. Where is Virus? Virus goes around that final chicane. Does he have any sort of an improvement in him? No, I don't think so. He's got a full battery, so that suggests he's not pushing at the end. Anyone else out on track? I think we've still got Tozy, but he's just come into the pits. I think that is indeed the end of qualifying. Dean, welcome to Dean in the comment section. He's announcing that Trey has had a problem with his Wi-Fi. His Wi-Fi has crashed. Of course, he still doesn't have an opportunity to get back into the lobby, but he's just going to have to do it rather quickly. There are your results. France takes pole position, 54.7. Nobody else came quite close, half a second down the road. Mr. M P2. Then you got Virus P3. He was the one that went to the top of the field. Don't know why. I thought it was Spikes. Lam Royale P4. Acid Milk P5. And Levy P6. No, P7. Skull P8. Andre P9. Osh Cartoon. Making up the top 10. P11. In the way of Katozi, Top Gun P12, and then Cooper and Trey, 13 and 14, no lap time set, and Trey obviously having troubles in the garage. Sometimes Wi-Fi can be like a Ferrari pit crew. You never know. Of course, to the right hand side of the circuit, all the cars will be lined up in their grid spots, ready to go. Of course, they'll be doing their final adjustments, their final strategy changes. What tyre are they going to start on? Are they going to risk underfueling in the event of safety cars, or in the hope of safety cars? Of course, if those do not arrive. There we go. Trey has joined the session, so hopefully he can retake control of his car and he can still have a race tonight. So a little bit of a pause. When we do get going, it's not going to be straight into the race. We should get the dual green lights, and yes, we do. Dual green lights means we're off for a formation lap. Drivers getting one last opportunity to have a go around this circuit before they have to go around at racing speed. Just gives you an opportunity to try and get some prep on the tires, get some prep on the brakes, feel the car with its full fuel tank. Of course, France is going to lead the field. Mr. Rem P2. It's really tricky turn 1 here in Suzuka because sometimes it can look so inviting up the inside. Go up the inside. There's contact. When you see the replay, you think, what was I thinking? Virus in P3, then Lam Royale P4. Remember, all these LSA drivers, wherever they are in the field, they're all quick. Yet to meet a slow one. That's why they are the champions of the inaugural League V League Championship. And I really do hope this championship makes a return. Of course, it's difficult to say when it will return or what it will look like when it returns, because the League V League Championship, well, it's a league that relies on other leagues. So if they're simply not taking place at that time, or they're not racing at that time, of course, in our prototype League V League we actually had 5 leagues, one of them since dropped away. Prototype league led to a 12 round calendar. It's going to be an exploratory season, and here we are in round 12. Magozi showing support for Levy. Of course, that's one of his fellow JPR drivers. I'm also one of his fellow JPR drivers. I'm just a very, very bad JPR driver. We now wait for the 5 red lights. There's a bit of a pause as we wait for them to light up. Hopefully no more problems. Ooh, this is a bit of a long pause. There we go, finally. 3, 4, 5, pause. And there we go. It's gonna be France versus Mr. Rem into turn 1, and I told you about this turn 1. It can be quite inviting. Look at that. It looks so wide. Thought about it for a second. Gotta show a little bit of respect. Gotta allow the space. It's not 90-90 anymore, and you're not Ayrton Senna. You're not gonna get away with that. France from Mr. M from Virus, then Lam Royale in P4. Levy's just made up a spot. He's up into P5. Smurf has made up a spot himself up into P6. Skull in P7, then Acid Milk P8. Bosch Platoon P9, and Andre, the last car in the points. France still out front. Because he says I'm not a bad driver. Meanwhile, the only time I can keep up with him is as long as I'm in his DRS. As long as I fall out of the DRS, things become quite a headache, and I rely on his mistakes. And sometimes he doesn't make many. Ooh, we've got a ghosting car. We've got a ghosting car. Is that France? I think that is France. That car just ghosted. Not quite sure what happened there, but it looked like the car ghosted for a second. And that's how Mr. M was able to take the lead. At least that's what we saw on the broadcast. It seemed very strange, but France definitely in control of that car. So just got a little worried. Never nice to see one of the race contenders falling out in that manner. Cooper has retired. We've got a caution. What will this trigger? Will it just disappear from our screens, or will it turn into something more? Usually it happens quite quick, and that took a while. So there we go, disappears from our screen. That will not result in any stoppage. be sarcastic. He occasionally makes mistakes, but that's because he can't catch the cars in front. So he's giving me a chance to catch up, so he can have someone to race. Mr. Rem leads the way, then Virus, then Lam Royale, then France. What's happened to that driver? He's down in P4, was leading the race. Obviously had some sort of incident, some sort of off-track excursion. Luckily he does have all of his end plates, which means he'll be able to, well, he'll have the tools to attack right back. We've seen he's got the pace in qualifying. Of course, can't read too much into those qualifying times because that was in the wet. These are very, very different conditions. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen later on in the race. If you look up towards the skies, things do look gloomy. This is Smurf, then Skull, then Harsh Cartoon. This trio of SKR cars following each other there in the midfield. 5, 6 and 7. Of course, if you've been watching this entire championship, you know this already, but that's what makes this racing unique. These guys are not competing as individuals, they are competing as a team. So you'll see these 3 cars trying to, in fact I think it's turned into 4 cars. There it is 4 SKR cars line astern. Levy, well, he's at the rear of all those SKR cars, and if he looks in his mirrors, he's going to see the 5th one at the front of the field. Well, lots is happening at the front of the field. Lam Royale, he just went up before turn 1. Strong DRS around this circuit, gets himself into the lead of the race. So they had an LSA driver leading at the start of the race, that was France. Started from pole position, he's since slipped down to P4. This is why LSA have won the championship. One driver falls down, another one picks up the baton. Lam Royale leads the race for LSA on lap 4 of 27. We've got Mr. Rem in P2. He's been doing a fantastic job up until this point. We've got Virus. He's doing a fantastic job of holding on to P3. It's early days. And now, said he was having a, well, commentator's curse. I don't know what to say anymore. That's happened so many times on this channel. Start talking about a driver, and that happens. Of course, you can imagine if I had a co-commentator and we were both doing the commentator's curse, how many cars would finish a race? Levy, that JPR car, trying to find his way through a sea of green. That's all he'll see in front of him, a green car and another, and another, well, and another. And look at this, those green cars better behave themselves. The last thing you want to do is have teammates taking each other out on the final race of the season. It's not how you want to end things on the final Tuesday on NFR for quite some time. When I get to the end of this race, Cooper has already failed to get to the end of the race, so we start with 14 down to 13. No penalties so far for any of the drivers. We haven't had any stoppages in the race. Cooper didn't trigger any stoppage. He disappeared from the circuit. Let's ride now with Trey. He had an issue earlier on with his Wi-Fi. He said he needed to get into the lobby and get into the lobby quite quickly. He did so. He's been able to get himself up the field, now up into P9. Remember, he didn't set a lap time, so he would have started right at the rear. Time to start to bring up some details. Should have brought them up earlier. Apologies. There are your tyres in the race. seems like the most popular choice is the medium compound. Two of the drivers have chosen to go on the hard compound, and interestingly enough, they're at the front of the field. It's two LSA drivers, LvL in P1, France in P3. Both of those drivers have chosen to go on the hard, so they're going to be going a little deeper than all of the drivers around them. Now, Presso, 2 in 1. Yes, it is. Goes past Levy, goes past Harsh Cartoon, gets double DRS, and I think I see raindrops. There we go, that is raindrops. I see raindrops on screen. I don't think they're going to pit immediately. Things might get interesting in the next couple of laps. Harsh Cartoon, he was just part of that double overtake. It's never nice when you lose a position, but when you lose two. Mr. Rem, currently playing best of the rest. LSA, he's in P3. We have an LSA 1-2. Then Virus, rest of the SKR drivers. Look at that train of SKR cars. This would be a fantastic result for them if things were to finish this way. Just a quick look at that Constructors' Championship, and you can see LSA clear ahead. They are the champions, 554 points. Next best, SAFRL, 284. Got JPR, 166. And SKR, 117. Of course, SKR does have 5 cars here tonight, so if they can get all 5 of those cars into strong points scoring positions, as they are now, they could flip that championship from a P4 to a P3. Each and every single position. It means a lot. Bean suggesting an LSA podium. Well, it is possible. Of course, I think LSA would love to see a podium for the final race of the season, a triple podium with their special liveries. Actually, I haven't noticed. Let me go on board with them. I wanted to see if they had a tribute or a matching helmet. As I see, I think everyone's just using their normal helmet. Definitely a special livery. Just adding gold for the final round. Ooh, that's not what you want to see. Virus off the circuit. Gonna have to stay off the circuit until he can join the circuit safely. He led all those cars by, and when he thought it was time to go, the car just said no, spun it around, loses even more positions. And now one of those SKR drivers that was doing so well finds himself at the rear of the field and probably hoping for some sort of intervention. That intervention may come in the way of rain. Of course, we did see raindrops earlier on. There are definitely raindrops in the air, but very, very, very light. I don't think we're going to see any pit stops just yet. France in P2 seems to have picked himself up a penalty. A 3-second penalty. Not going to help his race much. He does have the pace. Needs to make sure the driver behind him is 2 or more seconds behind him, but the Rain Man may still come and spoil LSA's plans. And there are a lot of the drivers, they don't really like the wet that much, and while they're really quick in the wet, most of them can't say they practice as much in the wet as they do in the dry. So you might see mistakes creep in from the drivers you least expect it from. Good to have you, Dean. If you've been here before, welcome back. Good to have you. Not sure if I've seen you in the comment section before or not. And of course, if it's your first visit, welcome. Unfortunately, you joined only in time for round 12. Safety car. Well, what do? The Rain is falling. Doesn't seem to be falling that heavy. Do you go for the intermediate? Doesn't seem to be the case. Nobody's going for the intermediate. Everybody changing tires here under the safety car, but going for another set of slick tires. Levy's done something different. He's thrown the dice. Of course, something you need to remember now is the safety car can take a couple of laps. So while it's raining lightly at the moment, if that rain increases over the next 2 or 3 laps while these cars are cruising around behind the safety car, well, maybe the track will come to those intermediates just at the right time. Virus at the rear of the field, we saw him have that off-track incident a little earlier on, so he's gone for a roll of the dice, put on the intermediate tires, hoping for something special, hoping that this rain can just accelerate, get here a little quicker, decide if it's going to rain or not. If it's not going to rain, go away. If it is going to rain, get on with it. Good to have you, Dean, saying he's been watching. He's always been watching. Of course, we're under a safety car, relatively early safety car in this race. We're in the first third of the race, still a long way to go. I believe we have seen our pit window. It all depends on what this rain is going to do. And I think if the rain were to hang around and the drivers had that information, I don't know why so many drivers in the field would have come out on slicks. So surely this is a short predicted rain period. It'd be good to know what Jeff is saying on the radio. Is he saying rain will dry up in 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Or is he saying it will get worse? Surely not. Otherwise we would have seen more cars coming into the pits under this second lap of the safety car, putting on the intermediate tyre. You don't want to wait until everybody's up to full racing speed and then come and do your pit stop. This is the view from the LSA driver in P2. This man down the road, Mr. M, SAFRL. And we have another LSA driver in that triple podium. It's getting closer and closer to a possibility. Smurf, one of the SKR drivers in P5. Then Levy, well, he's the top performing JPR driver, but he's had a real roll of the dice. The other roll of the dice I mentioned was Virus, but he is at the rear of the field. So it's I might as well gamble. On the other hand, for Levy, he's right in the midfield. So if those inters don't light up when the safety car comes in, he's simply going to fall down the order and be quite defenseless. And intermediate tyres that are not in conditions they prefer. Of course, it is possible to get around here and drive on the intermediate tyre. We saw it in SAFRL. Of course, they have an interesting rule in qualifying where if you choose to set your fastest qualifying lap on a set of intermediate tyres, regardless of the conditions, 5 bonus points are on hand. So you could qualify in P10 at the end of Q3 or whatever the case may be and get 5 bonus championship points for giving up track position. Safety car begins to flash. That's usually an indication that it's coming in. Let's get up the road to Lan Royale so we can see what the leader is doing. Of course, he's got a teammate just behind him, so he'll have that in the back of his mind. Don't think anybody's going to be diving up his inside. A bit of a cushion between him and the next competitor. Remember, he's not racing his teammate. 2 LSA drivers are racing Mr. M. In fact, the 3 LSA drivers are racing Mr. M. LSA 1, 2 and 4. Smurf for SKR, P5. Levy P6, so he's already fallen down one position. Remember, he was in P5 at the restart. Gotta follow that car. Keep an eye. What are those inters feeling like? Of course, if he starts to fall back quickly, if he gets a train behind him pretty quickly, then it's pretty obvious. For the time being, everybody holding station. Just lost that one position. That might have been right at the restart. Things can get messy at any restart. Up front, Lam Royale over a second now, the gap. Of course, a very good indicator of when the track is indeed damp is when the DRS gets switched off. So as long as you see these guys opening up DRS, the track is still classified as dry, and that is bad news for Levy. We'll just be hoping for that notification that says DRS disabled. Then he'll know the track is about to come to those green wall tyres. Of course, we don't have any tyre data. Levy will be able to look at his tyre data, he'll be able to look at the temperature, he'll be able to look at the wear, and he'll know if the inevitable is coming for those intermediates. He's now fallen almost a second behind Smurf. Let's go to broadcast to see if he does in fact have a queue behind him. As Harsh Cartoon, Skull and Top Gun all chasing. Andre also at the back of that queue. In fact, at the back of the queue is Acid Milk. Then we've got Virus at the rear of the field. Also on a set of intermediates. And I fear the gamble hasn't paid off. Remember, he was at the rear, but now he's fallen 2.5 seconds adrift from the rest of the field, and it may just come down to those intermediate tyres. I'm not seeing it as badly from Levy, but I think that's because Levy was still getting DRS for quite some time, so he was able to stay up with his opponent. Now he's fallen adrift from Smurf, almost 2 seconds, and he might be losing another position here. The SKR driver goes towards the inside, Cartoon. Then he backed out of the move, thought better of it. There are definitely better places on this circuit to make an overtake. An experienced driver like him knows that. Those fantastic passes always look so good. There are parts of a racetrack that we just gotta respect. That's not the place to make an overtake. And if it ends badly, you've only got yourself to blame. We're watching Levy go on board every few moments because I keep on wanting to see if the raindrops are still falling. They are still falling. It just doesn't look like intermediate weather right now. And the timing sheets don't suggest it's intermediate weather right now. At the rear of the field, I think Virus has come in to make another pit stop. Yes, he has. He's come in to make another pit stop, and he's fitted the hard tyre. So I think that intermediate run, he sees it as a mistake. Levy hasn't come in and done the same thing. He's staying out there, holding on to track position and praying for rain. There is rain. He's praying for more rain. Got everyone in his garage doing the rain dance. Everything they can to get a few more drops out of the sky. Get this track into intermediate conditions. Guess this race would come to Levy in a crazy way if that was the case. The other unfortunate thing is he did pit pretty early, so if the rain does come in 2 or 3 laps from now and then everybody pits for inters, he's going to have aging inters around all the other drivers with fresh new inters. Levy still falls down the order, now P8. I think the inevitable is coming for that car. I think he'll be coming into the pits and getting rid of those inters. A strategy that didn't work. Probably just saw the rain and thought, I've got this. And then when he came out onto track and saw the entire field on hards, I think he second guessed himself at that point. Of course, the possibility of the rain getting worse was always there. It's still hanging in the air. We've had a scenario like this before on the channel. Had a few scenarios like this on the channel. We just don't know what's going on with the conditions. The conditions definitely rain in the air. Any sort of wet compound is not needed for now. LvL from France, P1 and 2, that's the two LSA drivers. One of them though has a penalty. So Mr. Rem in P3, he'd pick up that P2 if things ended like this. Very close at the front between these four. LvL, France, Mr. Rem and Ray. 3 LSA drivers, 1 SAFRL driver. Those are the teams P1 and 2 in the championship. Of course, I don't think anybody can take P2 away in the championship, so I think that's also confirmed. 120 points ahead of JPR, so I think P1, LSA, P2, SAFRL confirmed. There is still a championship battle here for P3. As far as the poll goes, SKR, if this came down to the poll, there were championship points awarded for the poll. Well, first of all, we'd have a lot of more people coming in here to sneak a vote. I think SKR might win the championship because they always seem to win the poll. SKR currently on 50%, LSA on 30%, and then just 10% apiece from JPR and SAFRL. So, JPR, SAFRL, where are you? I'm pretty sure that vote for JPR must have come from Atmagozi. Of course, we got the poll up a little bit late tonight. Actually forgot to put it up. That's why there's a few votes less than usual. A lot of the drivers didn't get an opportunity to vote when they briefly visited the stream. These four still so close together. They've obviously now dropped off Smurf in P5. This is a 4-car battle. I think Trey is disconnected again. Trey, that car just falling off now at the back, and that will be very disappointing. It's nothing worse. Obviously 2 things can go wrong on your game night. It can either be your internet, the game becomes quite useless at that point, or it could be the game itself, which is something we saw on Monday night. Unfortunately, this time around, I think Trey, hopefully he can get back into that car and sort out whatever's going on with his internet, jump back in that car and still have a decent result. Remember, he started from the rear of the field because of the internet issue, got himself to the top of the field, and now unfortunately he's falling back down because of that internet issue. Try to stay as in character as possible for the comms session, so we won't call it internet issues for the drivers, we'll just call it reliability. But just as the drivers get so frustrated when the game goes wrong for them, either in the way of a glitch or either in the way of the internet just failing them, of course in real life that car can fail you, that team can fail you. Just ask almost any Ferrari driver. Mr. Rem, he's come out on top. Not sure how, and an LSA, that's an LSA car in the background. I wasn't quite sure which one it is, but it's definitely France. He's falling down the field. Going sideways. Was he able to get it stopped before the wall? Try and get a better look at that car so we can have a look at its end plates. Has it been able to hold on to both its end plates? We saw it go sideways, we saw it get really close to the wall. But how close to the wall did it get? Was there contact? Let's have a look at that gold LSA car. He is definitely missing an end plate. He's missing an end plate on the left hand side. Lap 17 of 27. The question will be, what does he do next? Of course, if it's just an end plate, some drivers, don't know how they do it, they can limp the car to the end. They can get over that minor damage and just drive around it. Other drivers are going to find it very difficult to drive around Suzuka with any sort of damage. You're going to need all the bits and pieces to keep you on the road. Mr. Ram from Lam Royale. I'm not sure what happened to my voice there, but there we go. I'll just blame the mic. Skull in P3. Should be a fantastic result for SKR. Remember, where are the JPR drivers? There is Top Gun in P5. Then another SKR driver, Andre and Harsh Cartoon. Then Trey. Let's have a look at that car. Is he in control? Still looks like he's ghosting. So unfortunate. So unfortunate for the third LSA car. That triple podium that was suggested in the comment section looked like a possibility. A strong possibility. But now, not so much. 9 laps to go in this race. Mr. Rem, Lam Royale. 2/10 of a second between the leaders, so this race is far from over. Skull in P3 and seems to be quite comfortable at the moment, not close enough to the leaders to mount any sort of an attack. He does have a 1.2 second gap to Smurf, which means he's outside of DRS. It's just going to allow him to breathe a little bit. Every time that car that's attacking is in DRS, lap after lap after lap, you know where those DRS zones, and as they approach, you count the corners down. You hold on to your battery. You try and keep that driver behind. Lam Royale, Mr. Rem, I'm not sure who's in the lead. They're popping the nose in front, then the next one pops the nose in front, and oh, that wasn't a good drive out of the corner for Mr. Rem. Just lost traction, car went sideways. I think there was a slight contact. The contact might have actually been beneficial, because if there was contact, I think the contact would have actually assisted him in straightening up the car. Skull in P3, Smurf in P4, Top Gun in P5, and Andre, Harsh Cartoon. Remember, all those SKR cars were together at a stage. Now things have split up, those two still matching each other for pace. Then we have another JPR driver, Asset Milk, P8, Trey. How disappointing it must be for him. He's one of the quicker drivers on the night, and now he's potentially going to fall out of the points. Levy still 12 seconds adrift. Will he be able to catch that AI car, get an extra point for JPR in this final race? Of course, this is the league finale for League versus League, but it's not the last races on the channel for the year. We still have SAFRL and SKR. 2 more rounds apiece, if I'm not mistaken, following the F1 calendar. So we're going to visit Qatar and Yas Marina for both of those leagues. There's still a little bit of action to come. Of course, and then the great motorsport drought begins. Just have a quick look at the poll. Has the poll changed? No, it has not. The poll remains exactly the same. So course, if you've just joined or if you haven't voted on the poll at all, remember, go to the poll at the top of the comment section there. Let me know who you're supporting tonight. At the moment, SKR leads that poll. We're under a virtual safety car. Second retirement of the evening. Goes the way of Gatosi. And this is going to mix things up yet again. It's only a few laps in the race. Guys in the comment section will know better than me. Tell me, how many laps can you do on a set of soft tyres? Will anybody come into the pits, go for that softer compound? Seems to be the case. Mr. M, your leader, he comes into the pits. What does Smurf do? Smurf stays out. Smurf stays out. SKR leads the race, and he's done something a little different. Looks like a lot of the field did utilize the safety car for a pit stop. Smurf decided not to, Top Gun decided not to, as did Andre. All of those drivers simply driving past. Now you're going to have a situation where everyone who was in that group leading the race is going to have to come through the back with just a few laps to go. DRS enabled. I didn't know it was disabled at any stage because the guy's been driving around on dries. So very, very strange conditions. You can see the raindrops. There's another one. It's just not wet enough to bring those intermediates onto circuit. Dixie telling the SKR boys to push, and that's what they're doing. Smurf leads the race, and he's got a nice lead as well. 3.5 seconds. Then Harsh got 9/10 of a second just behind Top Gun. We were talking about a multiple finish on the podium, a triple finish on the podium for LSA. Well, we've got SKR in P1, P3, P4, and then we get the man who was in the lead of the race. Of course, actually Mr. M was in the lead of the race. Lam Royale has got ahead of him after those pit stops. Of course, that's what happens sometimes under safety cars. So many guys come in at the same time. Sometimes you just have to wait for somebody else. Maybe you double stack with a teammate. Of course, with the multiplayer cars, you don't know who your legitimate teammate is. So obviously we're running, each league is a different team, but when it comes to the garage, you share a garage with someone. Sometimes you don't know who it's going to be on the night, and you'll end up performing a double stack you rather would not have had. Sometimes if you knew you were going to double stack, you might have stayed out on track and held on to track position, and then you get to the garage and you think, now, who's this guy in my parking spot? Of course, that was the famous maneuver of Fernando Alonso when he was teammates with, yes, Lewis Hamilton, a rookie Lewis Hamilton. Fernando Alonso went out, set the fastest lap for pole position. Hamilton had been quicker than him the entire weekend. So he was going out for his final run. Needed to come into the pits, have a change of tyres, get out for his final run. Everyone expected him to be quicker than Alonso. Well, Alonso simply didn't get out of the parking spot until there wasn't enough time for Hamilton to get around for an outlap. So there's definitely history between those two. There was one of those drivers, I think both of those drivers, already in their 40s. At the front of the race, it's all about Smurf. He's got the track to himself. He's got a healthy lead. Plus the man in P2's got a penalty, so that's going to make him feel even more comfortable. Doesn't really matter what's happening behind Top Gun. He doesn't really care. All he sees is the man in P2 has a penalty. He's holding the rest of the field back. Virtual safety car. We've had another virtual safety car. Fortunately for the drivers, it's not a full safety car, because a full safety car at this stage in the race would cause complete and utter havoc. We only lost 2 drivers. I'm not sure who triggered that last virtual safety car. Of course, we have seen in the past that we get a virtual safety car on screen, but an actual safety car in the race, That does not appear to be the case. I don't see any stationary yellow dot on the screen, so I think this is a true virtual safety car. It should be underway shortly. Of course, the purpose of a virtual safety car is to have less stoppages in the race. Everybody is supposed to drive at a relatively neutral speed within their delta. The point is so that the gap at the beginning of the virtual safety car and the gap at the end of the virtual safety car is supposed to remain the same. But if you're a little asleep when that virtual safety car comes to an end, you might find yourself losing a second or two to the car in front. Smurf goes to the outside, even gets 2 wheels on the grass. In these conditions, not quite sure. Obviously the rain not falling hard doesn't appear to be affecting the drivers because they're going side by side and trying all sorts of things. If they were struggling for grip, I think they'd be a little bit more calm at this stage in the race. We do have a caution flashing away on our screens. Lap 24 of 27, safety car still possible at this stage in the race. So we're just hoping to get up to lap 25, then we can call it safe. I've commentated on enough races to know that we can get a safety car with 3 laps to go. So we can't call it yet, and well, there we go. There we go. I assure you. Oh well. I think I'm doing this a little too much. You gotta admit that was pretty good. I think that was pretty good. Maybe I was just forcing a safety car. I was like, I need some action at the end of this race. I'm going to talk about a safety car until one happens. Safety car, lap 24 of 27. And by the time this safety car comes to an end, there's not going to be much racing time to go. Of course, this is a worst case scenario for those drivers that chose not to make a pit stop under the virtual safety car. Of course, we had a virtual safety car not so long ago. Some of the field came in, got a new set of tires. Some of the field decided to stay out. Now we have a situation where those drivers have also come in. We've still got, well, that is Trey that I'm looking at. That's why I was a little confused about the data. It's done 15 laps on the hards. But at the front, it's going to be Smurf, and the SKR drivers. This is the sort of safety car. This is the sort of safety car that Smurf really did not want at this stage in the race. Had a nice lead at the front. This victory looked on the cards with just a couple of laps to go. Said we could still get a safety car on lap 24 or 27, and that's exactly when one was triggered. We're on lap 25 of 27. It's going to be interesting now is to see how quickly can this field come together. Of course, the longer it takes, we can get a maximum of 3 laps behind the safety car, which I think would leave us a 1-lap sprint. And again, this annoying weather continues. I said it earlier on, either the rain should just get harder, do its thing, or it should just go away. It's actually annoying me at this point. It's annoying the drivers as well. Smurf almost going for an overtake around the outside on the safety car. And the safety car driver might have just got a bit of a shock. Safety car will be in this lap. That means we're going to have lap 26 and lap 27. So a 2-lap sprint to the end. Smurf knows as soon as that safety car pulls off into the distance, He needs to start prepping for his restart. He is responsible for restarting this race one final time in Season 1 of the League V League Championship. This will be the last restart we see until Season 2, whenever that may be. Smurf leads the way. Looks relatively smooth into turn 1. It's two SKR cars into turn 1, so they're not going to be attacking each other anytime soon. They need to work together to keep the rest of the field behind them. There's a JPR car, that's Top Gun, he's in P3. Another SKR driver, P4. Then Mr. Rem. Remember, he led the race not so long ago, but he chose to come into the pits under that virtual safety car, so he's got a fresh set of softs. Unfortunately for him, so do the drivers ahead of him. Smurf, Harsh Cartoon, Top Gun, Skull, Mr. Rem, Acid Milk, another JPR driver, haven't spoken about him too much tonight. Another SKR driver that's sort of got lost in the field on me, haven't spoken about him too much tonight, is Andre. And having a strong race, going up and down the field. He's finding a little bit of inconsistency tonight. Definitely has the pace, but Suzuka, it's one of those circuits. Gain a little bit of time, make the slightest mistake, and start all over again. To the inside, is he going to go for the overtake? It was a brave overtake. Was he able to pull it off? We didn't get a very good camera angle, but it looks like both those cars have their end plates. And Andre has made up a position, goes up into P6. It's an extra handful of points for the SKR team. Speaking of SKR, they lead this race. Top Gun in P2, flying the flag for JPR. Remember, these two still in a fight for the championship for P3. P1 and 2 are confirmed. Of course, LSA and SAFRL in that order. But P3 and P4 are not yet decided. And none of these teams want to get the wooden spoon. It's all about how many cars can you get in the top 10. There's only 11 drivers out there, so just about everyone's going to score points, with the exception of the 5th SKR car. 25 seconds adrift from the rest of the field. Safety car simply did not wait for him. But the safety car does have a limit of laps. I don't think I've ever seen a race end under safety car on the game. So I think when there's 2 laps to go, it sort of has to come in. And if you're too far behind, it's not going to wait for you. Smurf, Top Gun, 0.5 of a second, lap 27 of 27. This would take a very, very, very brave, very late move, but I don't think he's going to be close enough to even think about it. Smurf around the final chicane, and we have an SKR victory. SKR P1, JPR P2, SKR P3 and 4. What a result for them. And that is a big incident. Was that car able to get over the line before that incident? I hope that is the case. I think that was an LSA car, if I'm not mistaken, and it was in pieces. Well, that's the LSA car that's guilty for it. I think he was just ending his League V League Championship with a rather odd celebration. Some drivers choose to do donuts. Others choose to Colapinto their car. Of course, Williams always seemed to give us an interesting second driver. Colapinto looked really promising at the beginning, but now all of a sudden he's starting to look like his predecessors, Sargent and Latifi. There's a quick look at the podium. Just need to try and mute this before I get a copyright claim. There we go. Smurf, SKR, Harsh Cartoon, then Skull. I believe Mr. M had a penalty. Is that a SKR 123? I think it's an SKR 123. I didn't notice it in the stream, but Mr. M in P4. Did he have a penalty? Well, I see green, green, green. Smurf, Harsh Cartoon, Skull 123. Then we got Mr. M for SAFRL, he's in P4, Lebby for JPR in P5, Top Gun P6, Andre P7, Acid Milk P8, France P9, and Trey managed to finish in P10. I'm not sure if that car was ghosting at the end. Virus, no points on the night, and a list of 3 DNFs, Lam Royale, Katozi, and Cooper. Of course, that's it, folks. League versus League Championship Season 1. It was our first attempt at this, and I think it was a rather successful attempt. I really hope we get a Season 2. I really hope Season 2 will be on this channel so I can broadcast it to you all again. I don't know when that Season 2 is going to be, when it will return. Will it be on F124? Will it be on a future game? But of course, as soon as I have information and as soon as I have any confirmation that it'll be on this channel, I'll definitely let you all know about it. Of course, I'm going to have a look at the Discord to see if anybody is in the cooldown room. Of course, you can go to the cooldown room on the NFR Discord server. I will then take you from the cooldown room, bring you into the comms box. We can have a little chat about your race or a little chat about your season. Only have one little issue. Last time around, brought Skull into the comms box and nobody could hear him. So hopefully the Discord is working this time around. I'm going to take a short break, and if I do find anybody in Discord, I'll be back.
Turn on the screen, it's NFR. Feel the rush like a shooting star. The engines roar, the tires scream. Fast as lightning, it's the dream. Speed and drama, every turn on NFR. The rubber burns. Feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR. Burning tracks, driving far. Where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Like Fernando calls the play on NFR. Every race day, commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR. Burning tracks, driving far. Where the races never end. NFR, only friend.
Welcome back, everybody. I really hope my Discord chat is working this time around, because we've got a lot of drivers in the comms box. This is the most people we've ever had in the comms box. Some sort of record here. Can one of you say something so I can just see if Discord is working? Can you guys hear me? Well, it would help if I did that. There we go. Now everybody should be able to hear me. There we go. Okay, everybody can hear me, and it looks like the Discord will be able to hear you. So let me just unmute the Discord. And there we go. So guys, that was the end of Season 1 League versus League, Round 12. What
Unmute the Discord.
Apmagozi, welcome. What can you guys say about the weather? What was Jeff saying? Did Jeff ever say rain was coming, or?
Thank you.
He was having a stroke actually. He didn't know what to say anymore. If it dries or wet, he didn't know. First, I actually got a comment to say that wets is the best tire at some point in my race.
Because I saw under the I don't know if it was a virtual safety car or a full safety car, I can't remember at this point, but most of the field came in, and I was expecting them to go intermediate, and there was only 2 cars. There was only 2 drivers that went with the intermediate, and it just sort of stayed that like damp but not wet conditions.
Yep, that was bad.
So of course, that was the end of season 1. Season 2, we don't know when it's coming back. Of course, we'll have information as soon as it does. What do you guys have any highlights of the season? Anything you want to say to fellow drivers, to your competitors?
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for a great season. SKR didn't have the best season out there, but we'll get there. Luckily, we left the best for last.
Was definitely a good result at the end there for SKR. Is unfortunately I don't have lifetime points, but is that enough? Was it enough to
It's
P3?
going to be close. It's going to be close. I actually count working it out now. So just put the top three, we're scoring 60 points, and we are 49 points behind. So I'm not sure where those two JPR cars ended, exactly where their results. I think it was P6 and P8 or 9.
We still have to do a little
I'll
bit of
have to update
mathematics to see
Uh,
who got
5 and
uh,
6.
the P3. It's going to be tight between JPR
I,
because SKR scored a handful of points, but there were still two JPR cars in the points. So it's going to come down to what they scored.
gonna check it quickly. So the Andre, you got P7, eh?
Yeah, and
So we got 66 points this race. So that's 66 points minus the 49. 6 equals minus the 49. So JPR needs 17 points to even us, and they ended P
5 and 6.
5 and 6.
Yeah.
They beat us with 1 point. They got 18
Oh,
points then.
Didn't
oh.
one of us get the fastest lap, maybe?
Oh well, hope so. I don't even
They
know.
got fastest lap. They got fastest lap. Top Gun.
Uh,
Oh, they got fastest lap,
No,
so
so
they took it by 2
then we're
points.
losing it by 2. Yeah.
Well, that's as close as it gets. And like, if you've missed the race or if you've rage quit at any point, now's a good time to blame yourself. Um, that's what it can come down to
That's true.
sometimes, just a point. But what else? What can we say? SKR returns on Sunday. SAFRL returns on Monday. You guys still, a handful of you guys still racing in that, taking us all the way to December.
Yes.
Believe I'm not sure which league it is, but one of the leagues returns early on in January. And when I have all that news, I'll forward it on. Guys, any closing statements? Anyone who hasn't spoken yet that wants to say something? If there's any questions for anyone in the comment section, let me know. I'll
The
try and
race
forward
winner,
it to the
Smurf.
guys. We'll go with the race winners. Let's start.
Smurf didn't say anything. He's
Smurf.
the race winner. So
Smurf is the race winner, and he's sitting here
Smurf.
quietly. He's sitting here quietly, like Max Verstappen on the edge of the couch.
I think it's his first podium.
First
Yeah,
one, I
first
think you
one.
said.
This is my first one. Thank you, guys. I don't have
It's the first one
much
for.
to say, but this has ended the season well. I won't be joining the last 2 races in SKR.
tell us why.
Lekker. Thank you.
Tell us why.
Tell us why.
I'm going to go and watch the Formula 1 in Abu Dhabi. So
Oh,
I'm
wow.
flying out on Friday. I'm gonna watch the real thing.
That's great.
That
We're
must be
jealous.
nice.
That's
no,
fantastic. All
Så
I,
de kör present för de vinner så.
Ja, dat is right.
all I can do is
Ja, daarom goed.
all I can do is wait for
Nice.
2027 and hope. Of course, still a pretty good chance that South Africa could return to the calendar
Yeah.
in 2027, and Kailami's upgrades will begin in February. So, at a cost of 186 million rand
Oh, good
estimated.
stuff.
So yes, they're making changes to 3 runoff areas, and the rest is really Tech Pro. So
It's happening.
very
That's the good
expensive
thing.
Tech Pro. I think it's happening for them to invest, that amount of money in the track.
Thanks,
If
Clayton.
Kyle Army wasn't coming, if F1 wasn't coming, it would be a waste of money. There's only 2 categories of motorsport that need a grade 1 track, and that's MotoGP and Formula 1. So if they're making that sort of investment, there must be some sort of guarantee on the table. I have to wait for a local Grand Prix because overseas is not an option. So guys, any closing statements? I just want to have a look at the comment section, see if anybody's asked any questions. Well, all the viewers are still here, but nobody's asked any questions. I think they're just listening to you lot, working out the points. So confirmation, LSA,
I just want to say
SAFRL.
from SAFRL side,
Go ahead.
are you with me, man? So, now, just thank you for commentating for League versus League. It's been a long one, and we'll see you Sunday and Monday again. And also, yeah, I quickly added the points here. It looks like SKR missed out by 7 points at the end.
7 points.
So if the calculations is right, yeah, but the final results should be up by tomorrow night.
Fantastic.
And
But
thank you again.
can say the estimated results are LSA definitely P1, SAFRL definitely P2, and then it looks like JPR was able to hold on to P3 by 7 points, but that will be updated tomorrow. So just to all the viewers, I'm going to end this. The guys in the Discord can stay for a while if they'd like, but to the viewers, thanks for joining, and I'll see you on Sunday. Till next time. Cheers.
In the quiet lanes of Silverstone Town, folks are whispering about a boy falling down. Got a seat from his daddy, money's the king. Driving that Williams ain't like riding free. Tires spin, engines roar, but the podium's far. His wheels hit the gravel, now there's damage to the car. Got the world at his feet, yet he fumbles the lead. His dreams race away, but he's not in the speed. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Now he's got his own team with a famous name. Aston Martin's the brand, but it's still the same shame. Every corner, every turn, the crashes unfold. Dreams wrapped in carbon fiber, truth left untold. Paddock folks shake their heads with a sigh as the green car spins and the hopes run dry. No matter the funds, it's a harsh game of pain. $1 million toys can't shelter the rain. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill.
They roared into 24.